I am Dr.G. Kalaiselvi, Associate Professor of Botany, Sri Sharda College for Women, Autonomous, Salem 16. I am going to talk about plastids. Plastids are large cytoplasmic organelles. Plastids is a membrane-bound organelle that is found in the cells of plants, algae, and some other eukaryotic organisms. The term plastids was coined by Skidmore in 1885. The term plastids was coined from a Greek word plastikos, meaning formed or molded. Plastids are the site of manufacture and storage of important chemical compounds used by the cell. Plastid contains pigments used in photosynthesis, and types of pigments present can change or determine the cell color. Plastids are present only in plant cells. Hence, plastids distinguish plants from animals. In plants, plastids may differentiate into several forms depending upon which function they need to play in the cell. Types of plastids. Plastids are broadly classified into two main types, chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromoplast. Chromoplast are colored plastids. Chromo means color, plastid means living. Appearance. Chromoplast are plastids that are colored due to the pigments that are produced and stored in them. The color of these plant organs is associated with the presence of pigments apart from chlorophyll. Structure. Chromoplasts vary in structural appearance under an electron microscope. They may generally be grouped into five types: globular, crystalline, fibrillar, tubular, and membranous. Functions. Chromoplasts are found in fruits, flowers, roots, leaves, and are responsible for their distinct colors. This is always associated with a massive increase in the accumulation of carotenoid pigments. Chromoplast synthesis and store pigments such as orange carotene, yellow xanthophylls, and various other red pigment. The main evolutionary purpose of chromoplast is probably to attract pollinators or eaters of colored fruits which help to disperse seeds. Types of chromoplast. The chromoplasts are further subdivided into three types based on their color. They are as follows: chloroplast, pheoplast, rhodoplast. Chloroplast. The chloroplast is green in color. It contains green pigments called chlorophylls. It is found in higher plants and green algae. Pheoplast. This plastid is dark brown in color. It contains a dark brown pigment called fucoxanthin. Its main function is to absorb light and transfer the energy to chlorophyll. It is found in brown algae, diatoms, and dinoflagellates. Rhodoplast. This plastid is red in color. It contains a red pigment called phycoerythrin. This type of plastid is found in red algae. Leucoplast. Leucoplasts are a category of plastids. These are colorless plastids. Leuco means white, plastid means living. They don't contain color pigments. Their main function is to store food materials. They don't involve in synthetic activities. Types of leucoplast. Leucoplasts are subdivided into three main types. namely amyloplast, eleoplast, proteinoplast. Amyloplast. This is colorless plastids. Amyloplasts are found in roots, cotyledons, and storage tissues and synthesis starch for the plant through the polymerization of glucose. Eleoplast. This colorless plastid is found in the epidermal cells of Orchidaceae and Liliaceae. It stores oils. Proteinoplast. This is colorless plastid. This colorless plastid is found in seeds and nuts. It stores proteins. Chloroplast. Chloroplasts are green, discoid, self-propagating bodies in the cytoplasm of plant cells. They are green plastids. They are concerned with photosynthesis. The word chloroplast is derived from the Greek word chloros, which means green, and plast, which means form or entity. Chloroplasts have high concentration of chlorophyll molecule that captures light energy and gives many plants and algae a green color. Shape of the chloroplast. Chloroplasts vary in shape. They are spheroid or ovoid or discoid in higher plants. They are cup-shaped in Chlamydomonas, spirally coiled in Spirogyra, girdle-shaped in Eleutheryx, star-shaped in Zynima, and in the form of network in Oedogonium. Size of the chloroplast. The size of the chloroplast varies from species to species. In higher plants, it is 4 to 5 microns in length and 1 to 3 microns in thickness. Generally, the chloroplast of plants growing in shady places are larger in size. Number of chloroplast. The number of chloroplast varies from plant to plant, but it remains constant in all cells of a plant. In higher plants, there are 20 to 40 chloroplasts per cell. The algal cell contains one or few large chloroplasts. This is the structure of chloroplast. A chloroplast is bounded by two unit membranes, namely an outer membrane and an inner membrane. Two membranes are separated by a space called periplastidal space. The periplastidal space is 70 to 100 Armstrong in diameter and it is filled with watery fluid. Each membrane is about 40 to 60 Armstrong in thickness. Both the membranes resemble the plasma membrane in their structure. They are formed of proteins and lipids. The outer membrane is freely permeable to small molecules. The inner membrane is selectively permeable. Matrix or stroma. The interior of the plastid is filled with a colloidal substance called matrix or stroma. The matrix is colloidal, transparent, and proteinaceous in nature. It contains circular, double-stranded DNA, 70S ribosomes, many enzymes, and starch grains. Thylakoids. In the matrix, there are many closed flattened sacs called thylakoids. Each thylakoid is bounded by a single unit membrane and it encloses a cavity called loculus. 10 to 100 thylakoids are arranged one above the other in the form of stack of discs called granum. A chloroplast has 40 to 60 grana in its matrix. The granum may be 0.25 to 8 microns in diameter. The thylakoids of adjacent grana are interconnected by branching membranous tubules called frids or stromal lamellae or stroma thylakoids. Quantosomes. The thylakoid membrane contains minute spherical structure called quantosomes. Each quantosome is made up of chlorophyll molecules and carotenoids. It absorbs light for photosynthesis. The quantosomes are the real photosynthetic unit. Types of quantosomes. There are two types of quantosomes, pigment system 1 and pigment system 2. Pigment system 1 is found on the outer surface of thylakoid membrane. It is 100 into 90 angstrom in size and it is formed of 200 chlorophyll molecules and 50 carotenoid molecules. Pigment system 1 particles are closely arranged on the membrane. Pigment system 2 is found on the inner surface of the thylakoid membrane, which has 200 chlorophyll molecules and 200 carotenoid molecules. It is 175 into 90 angstrom in size. Pigment system 2 particles are widely spaced on the membrane. Chemical composition. Chloroplast contains proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, DNA, RNA, carotenoids, chlorophyll, and minerals. The chloroplast contains three types of photosynthetic pigments. They are chlorophylls, carotenoids, phycobilins. Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment present in higher plants and green algae. Structurally, it is similar to the hemoglobin. In the place of iron, it contains magnesium in the porphyrin ring. There are several kinds of chlorophyll, namely chlorophyll A, B, C, D. Chlorophyll A is present in higher plants and algae. Chlorophyll B is present in most green algae. Chlorophyll C is present in diatoms, dinoflagellates and brown algae. Chlorophyll D is present in red algae. Carotenoids. Carotenoids are yellow or orange pigments. They are found in all photosynthetic plants along with the chlorophylls. There are two kinds of carotenoids, namely carotenes and carotenols. Phycobilins. Phycobilins are the accessory pigments found in red algae and blue-green algae. The phycobilin of red algae is called phycoerythrin and that of blue-green algae is called phycocyanin. Origin. Plastids originate in three ways. They are as follows. From proplastids, from pre-existing chloroplast, from symbiotic origin. From proplastids. All plastids develop from small rounded unpigmented bodies called proplastids. A proplastids consists of a dense matrix bounded by two unit membranes. The inner membrane develops infolding called lamellae. In the presence of light, its lamellae progressively develops into thylakoids and the proplastids become a plastid from pre-existing chloroplast. In algae and ferns, the new chloroplasts originate by the division of the pre-existing chloroplast. From symbiotic origin, chloroplasts resemble bacteria in having circular DNA, 70S ribosomes, and a protein synthesizing machinery. It is believed that the bacteria-like organisms entered the eukaryotic cells in early ages of evolution. Inside the eukaryotic cells, the organism developed a symbiotic relationship. In due course of time, the symbiotic organisms became a photosynthetic organelles. Functions of chloroplast. Chloroplast has following functions. Protein synthesis, starch storage, oxygen supply, cytoplasmic inheritance, and photosynthesis. Protein synthesis. As chloroplast contain DNA and ribosomes, it synthesizes certain proteins. Starch storage. Chloroplast temporarily store starch during the daytime in the pyrenoid, starch forming organelle. At night, the starch is transferred to the region of growth and storage. Oxygen supply. Chloroplasts utilize carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and release oxygen. This oxygen is used by all animals and plants for respiration. Cytoplasmic inheritance. The DNA present in the chloroplast expresses certain characters in the organisms. It serves as an extra nuclear genetic material. The transmission of characters by extranuclear DNA is called cytoplasmic inheritance. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a vital biological process. It takes place in chloroplast. During photosynthesis, the organisms manufacture glucose with the help of chlorophyll using light, carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesizing organisms are called photoautotrophs. The stored up photosynthetic product is the main food for animals. Thank you.